The following program is produced at and funded by Lyndon State College, the College of the Northeast Kingdom.
On tonight's edition of News 7.
Town meeting day madness has finally come to a close in the Northeast Kingdom. We've got your results from the Granite State.
With winters hitting the road hard this year, crews have started repairs for safe travels.
And as temperatures rise, the water begins to flow. Towns start preparing for flood season. We'll be bringing you that and more over the next half hour.
Live from the Vermont Center for Community Journalism, this is News 7 at 5:30.
The ballots have been counted and New Hampshire's town meeting results are in. Good evening, I'm Kevin Kelleher.
And I'm Kelly O'Brien. Residents approved $1.3 million to construct a new town garage. Also passing was funding for a new police cruiser and safety equipment. A controversial plan to increase the size of the select board to 5 members failed, and a proposed to give $500,000 to renovate the riverfront area won a majority vote, but failed to meet the 60% needed for supermajority.
The results for Haverhill are in as well. Christina Herbert will serve her first full term as town clerk. Howard Hatch will serve on the Board of Trustees, and Lynn Wheeler, along with Thomas Friel, were both selected to serve on the select board. All of the proposed expenditures passed for town meeting day, the biggest of which is the $150,000 to go in a reserve fund and the $60,000 to add a police chief. The only thing that did not pass for the town was a vote to alter Airport Road, an airport road that passes the south runway of the Dean Memorial Airport. The town wanted to change the location of the road to reduce the risk of liability in the event of an air disaster. However, the cost of such a project would be thousands of dollars. More discussions will be held on when and where the proposed money will be spent next week.
112 voters took on the polls for local elections in Monroe yesterday. Junkyard issues were the only topic that caused controversy at last night's town meeting. The town voted against appropriating money for legal expenses to get rid of junkyards. During the second half of the meeting, the school discussion went smoothly, with every article passing.
And this just in, after an incident or an accident in Newberry, Route 5 is now closed. Vermont State Police officers are asking drivers to find alternative roads for transportation for those who are traveling north to Newberry and south to Bradford. We'll keep you updated if traffic conditions change. The Vermont Agency of Transportation highway crews were out today filling potholes on Interstate 91. One section of the highway that has been hit hard this winter, the bridge heading northbound near exit 24. The passing lane was closed for several hours today due to crews working, and Linden AOT says that they will continue their efforts to repair parts of the roads when necessary. However, it is still difficult for them to do so when daytime temperatures get above freezing and then dip below.
The Vermont Transportation permit application is now complete for new sidewalks to be constructed in East Burke. The project will go out to bid next month. Construction is planned to start and be finished by this summer. The project will be constructed by VTrans.
An issue 9 months in the making was open to public commentary in Burke. Mike Mathers proposed to allow recreational use campgrounds in East and West Burke villages. Last night, some residents like Brenda Laramie expressed their concerns about what this would mean for homeowners. If this could create a, quote, tent city or on their lawn, Mathers says it is necessary to pass campers so campers could have contained places to go. They could stay in Burke villages at registered areas like his Tiki Bar property and the land that houses Burke Public House.
It's just, you need to give these guys places to go. That's all. It's like they're camping all over town. I got a great spot for it, I thought, and it's, I think I still do. But it's ended up being quite a process to get to that stage.
The public is invited to vote on this matter on April 13th from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Bidding to provide archaeological services to the Caledonia Courthouse ended today. The courthouse was built on top of an old cemetery and needs to be inspected. During the dig, the main will be closed and employees will work from an additional building on the back of the courthouse.
Vermont State Police have arrested a man who they believe to be the alleged suspect of the TD Bank robbery in Enosburg Falls. Police say 30-year-old Jacob Rayum of Highgate robbed the bank and then took off. Rayum was arrested yesterday and was held overnight in Northwest Regional Correctional Facility, and his arraignment came today in St. Albans District Court, where he pleaded not guilty.
A Vermont resident is going to prison for over 4 years for conspiring to distribute cocaine. 45-year-old Albert Johnson pleaded guilty to the charge of conspiring to sell heroin and cocaine back in November. He has been in custody since. Johnson just received his final court sentence Friday and will be serving 55 months behind bars.
58 new officers may be hired to work in the state's 7 correctional facilities. The Association of State Correctional Administrators is asking for a 1.1% increase in funding in the governor's proposed 2016 budget. The 7 correctional facilities are located in Newport, Swanton, South Burlington, St. Johnsbury, Rutland, Windsor, and Springfield. Now, the Department of Commerce has proposed to create 60 new beds for the out-of-state federal prisoners in Vermont jails. This would keep more Vermont inmates in prisons outside the state.
Today, the Vermont State Police has announced the formation of a new major crime unit. The unit is all experienced investigators who will look into complex criminal cases. 5 detectives have been assigned to the major crime unit and will be supervised by Detective Lieutenant Craig Lepore. The 26-year-old veteran and his team will undergo specialized training on the investigation of major crimes. The unit will receive support from crime scene search team and all BCI detectives across Vermont.
Senator Bernie Sanders is not happy about the interests of corporations and their budgets. Sanders has found holes in budget plans and says it's not right that people want to cut certain funding where the people need help. Sanders made a statement saying, quote, "People who are extremely wealthier are telling us to cut Social Security benefits for some of the most vulnerable people in America."
Not only do they want to make cuts in health care, nutrition, education, heating assistance, food stamps, Meals on Wheels, and affordable housing, they also want to cut Social Security benefits for elderly seniors in Vermont and throughout this country struggling to survive on $14,000 or $15,000 a year or less.
Sanders finished his statement by saying these budget cuts are advice that he will not stand for as a senator.
Legislature is attempting to crack down on human trafficking. Legislators met on the Senate floor to discuss their views on the matter. The anti-human trafficking bill passed the Senate Judiciary Committee last month, but there were issues dealing with money, and it would prohibit a restitution fund from being spent on abortions.
I'm one of the few members of either party in this body who's actually prosecuted child molesters. I'm one of the few members in this body who's actually gone to crime scenes and seen the results of child molesters. I'm one of the few people in this body who's prosecuted a child molester not from evidence from the child, because the child was dead.
Texas Senator John Cornyn and Vermont Senator Patrick Leahy will continue to work on this bill despite the frustration between Democrats and Republicans.
The Vermont Senate extended protections for the right to die law. When the bill was passed in 2013, it included an amendment which would have stripped patients of their protections in 2016. The protections include a waiting period and doctor reviews before patients are allowed to die. Those measures are designed to prevent patients from making a rash decision to end their lives. Former NFL player O.J. Brigance is taking the stand against the right to die law. Brigance lives in Maryland, where the bill is also being discussed through legislators. The former linebacker and Super Bowl winner was diagnosed with ALS 8 years ago. Brigance still believes he's living a good life and thinks other people with severe health problems can do the same.
I don't know how many days I have left to live, but each and every one has a purpose. The thought that there would be a legal avenue for an individual to take his or her own life in a moment of despair, robbing family, friends, and society of their presence and contribution to society deeply saddens me.
The right to die allows terminally ill patients with less than a year to live to take their own lives if they wish.
The Vermont House has passed a bill that would prevent utilities from selling renewable energy credits to out-of-state consumers. It would also count the same credit towards meeting Vermont's renewable energy goals. This bill also calls for Vermont to set up its own requirement in which utilities can get specific percentage of their power from renewable sources, increasing up to 75% of their by the year 2032. The bill will now move on to the Vermont Senate. Spring is just around the corner, and with all the snow on the ground, it also means a flooding season. That's why Wheelock is looking into getting flood insurance from FEMA and State Rivers Corridor Program. The conversation dominated last night's town meeting, where discussions lasted for almost 45 minutes. Part of the town along Route 122 lies in a FEMA-designated Zone A floodplain. The town currently has no flood insurance and is looking to help defer some costs in the near future.
The town is always responsible for partial funding if we're in these programs and we get a natural disaster, flooding event, erosion event. The town is still on the hook for a certain portion, but it's way, way less than what we would have to pay if we were not in that program. Then we'd be footing almost the entire bill for many of those.
This is a new topic for the town, and the conversations about flood coverage will be ongoing. And now AJ Waterman joins us with our first look at our forecast. Beautiful day out there, AJ. Are we going to see another one like it tomorrow?
Well, it was a beautiful day outside. Take a look at these temperatures right now into the middle 40s and even some 50s on the board. But unfortunately, tonight we're going to be seeing a cold front arrive and bring us some more seasonable conditions, temperatures, at least for the next couple of days. Current snow depth shows us that we've seen a lot of warm temperatures and a lot of snow melt. Right now, 15 inches right now in St. Johnsbury, 34 in Whitefield, and 8 inches left in Burlington. So lots of warm air has allowed that snow to melt, and we've lost about 10 inches in the past week. Satellite and radar showing us some cloud cover that we saw this morning now burning off to mostly sunny skies as we head into the evening hours, all out ahead of that cold front that looks to bring us some colder air later on tonight and some increasing clouds as well. Starting at 40 degrees around 7 p.m. tonight, then dropping to about 31 degrees with some light snow showers starting, and northwesterly winds will be picking up into the overnight hours tonight. And of all the details on the rest of the week's forecast coming up in just a bit, including a potential for a major snowstorm this weekend, of all that coming up in just a minute.
Thanks, AJ. And with that warmer weather coming, it's almost amusement park season. One family is finally set to go on trial after causing a brawl last year at a park.
Rural Edge is receiving $500,000 in grant money, but what's that money going to be used for? We'll have all the answers after the break.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up?
Oh, we finally bought a place.
Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Was it good? Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Who doesn't want a shiny new electronic device? Sure, back home there's a garage or a basement full of old electronics that we don't talk about. But old electronics aren't garbage, and they're not useless. They're full of parts and materials that can be recycled into new electronics or donated to some wonderful causes. That flip phone and old computer can still live on. Recycling electronics is the green thing to do. It's the right thing to do, and it's so easy. Log on to greenergadgets.org and enter your zip code to find the recycling center nearest you.
Kelly, the Vermont family that started the brawl last summer in Canopy Lake Park is finally set to go on trial.
That's right, Kevin. The brawl started when security officers asked the family to give up their knives before they went into the park. The Perry family became belligerent, and then the officers tried to handcuff them. That's when the family started the fight. The Rockingham County Superior Court, the jury selection began on Monday for Joshua and Brian, the sons of Alan Perry, who will also soon be on trial.
Yeah, Kelly, that's actually cell phone footage from the park. Moving on. A dam in East Burke may finally be on its way out. 9 years ago, the Passumptic Valley Land Trust received a $317,000 grant to remove the dam. Last June, the trust presented a work plan to the Burke Conservation Commission, and now state and federal authorities are being asked to approve the project. The dam lies behind Ruby Lee's in East Burke and can be seen from the road as you enter the village. The Passumptic Valley Land Trust feels that the removal of the dam would not only return the river to its original unobstructed, free-flowing state, but would also have a positive impact ecologically and recreationally. But the trust knows some residents may want to preserve some history.
Dam removals can be controversial, often because people really have a hard time adjusting to change of any sort. In this case, the dam holds a lot of memories for some members of the community, older members of the community.
For 5 years, residents on Blakely Road in Lindenville have had problems with out-of-control snowmobilers. Alan Quimby had the most difficult with this situation and wants the trial to be officially moved. Quimby has contacted Vast Vermont and the company. Unfortunately, cannot control the irresponsible riders, but they can warn them by putting up trail signs. But according to Quimby, the signs are not working as well as they hoped.
I'm not going to sleep good at night knowing I killed somebody on a snowmobile. I use the trail myself. It's a necessity. It's just, the snow gets so deep that I can't plow it. Now I'm walking for the rest of the winter.
I mean, it's a load of crap. I come out here 2 or 3 days a week, and it's gotten to the point where I don't feel safe driving out here anymore because of the sleds. Most of them are pretty respectful, but there's a couple of them, we got some sharp corners along this road here, and you go around them in a, vehicle or whatever, and you gotta honk your horns because you never know what's gonna come around that corner coming 40, 50.
The trail on Blakely Road is not in the process of being moved, but next year that could change.
The Linden Select Board is still looking to fill the seat left vacant after David Dill's death 2 weeks ago. Those interested are asked to send a letter of intent by March 26th. From there, the Select Board will likely appoint a candidate to serve until an election at the next town meeting. The board also announced plans to give $200 to the Linden Food Shelf in Dill's memory.
There will be a $500,000 coming to Rural Edge in Lindenville. This is after Governor Peter Shumlin announced earlier today that $4.3 million will be going towards Vermont cities and towns to make housing more affordable. Rural Edge will use the majority of this grant money to improve the Darling Inn Apartments and Meal Center. They will improve health and safety needs, accessibility, and make the building more energy efficient.
We do a good job doing our research. We for things we don't do in-house, we've identified some really terrific consultants who are able to really highlight what makes the project shine and help us design it so that it not only meets our residents' needs, but also each of the funders have their own priorities, and we certainly keep those in mind as we design a project.
Rural Edge received 13% of the total grant, which is the second highest of all the recipients.
College tuition is usually an issue when students are thinking about a higher education. And President, the Community College of Vermont ranks lowest in the state for average tuition cost, which is just around $6,000. CCV held an open house to try to help prospective students with their college experience and what their school has to offer. The school is different from many, not only because they have different branches throughout the state, but also the way their classes are constructed and how they use different technology.
Allows us, for example, to offer a nutrition course where we have students here in St. Johnsbury and some students participating in Newport, such that we can have a course that draws students from both areas without having them to have to drive from Newport to St. Johnsbury or vice versa?
The St. Johnsbury Center, CCV Center, is hosting an open house to really help people understand a little bit more about what we do and how we can meet the needs of people here in St. Johnsbury and the greater Northeast Kingdom.
CCV in St. Johnsbury only has about 200 students enrolled, but with this learning technology, the college is able to have over 7,000 students across the state. As the snow starts to melt, Vermont is able to show off a different beauty than what we're used to. We'll show you what smartphone app will help you satisfy all your touristy needs.
That's right, Kevin. And then there's been a biking race announced for cancer. It starts in East Burke and then it goes full circle.
We'll have all the details on the upcoming forecast, how cold we're going to get the next couple of days, and how much snow we're going to see, all coming up after the break.
Captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
she doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new. Hello, is anyone there? Ugh.
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened? Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi. You mean you were driving? Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
And thanks for staying with us. It's been remarkable how cold this winter has been. And take a look at this picture. Cape Cod, seeing these icebergs wash up along the shore of Cape Cod indicates just how cold we've been this season. Look at this person standing right next to this iceberg, about 2 feet above that person's head. We haven't seen this type of cold air since about 2004, and the icebergs really weren't that big last time it happened. It hasn't happened this impressive since about 1970, so we've seen quite the cold winter this year. In Burlington today, however, actually pretty mild, starting out at 43 degrees, some cloud cover throughout the Burlington area. Then we burned those clouds off as temperatures warmed up to a nice, comfortable 50 degrees today, and it was beautiful outside with nice sunny conditions. Great day to do any spring skiing if you're able to do that. Current temperatures showing right now, look at Lunenburg, 63 degrees in the Connecticut River Valley, and most of us in the Northeast Kingdom seeing mainly 40s, and towards the south, mostly upper 40s and even 50 degrees out there in Stratford. And then towards the north and the west, 46 in Richmond, 47 out there in Westford near the Champlain Valley and towards the Canadian border. Current conditions, however, showing that sunshine out there and a few clouds over northern Vermont, New Hampshire. That's allowing us to melt some of that snowpack with that sunshine and warm temperatures. 15 inches right now in St. Johnsbury, 34 over in Whitefield, and 8 inches over there in Burlington. So we've seen a lot of snow melt because of the sunshine over towards the valley area locations, but in the White Mountains, we've seen that snowpack hang on just because it's been a little bit colder in the White Mountains. And then as we head into the evening hours tonight, we're going to be seeing a cold front slide through, and that's going to allow that snowpack to really stay where it is over the next few days. Right now, seeing a cold front trying to work its way into the region, but milder air remains in place, as we also have a frontal system sitting to the south that's bringing that milder air towards us, but both these weather systems are going to be sliding to the south and allowing cold temperatures to affect us later on tonight. So we'll see snow arriving with this low pressure system and the cold front sliding through tonight, and then those cold temperatures will arrive tomorrow and lasting into the day on Friday before our next snowstorm, and this will be a snowstorm on Friday night into the day on Saturday and lasting into Sunday, possibly with a significant amount of snow this weekend, so we'll have to keep a close eye on it. And this model forecast showing us about 6 to 12 inches of heavy wet snow possible this weekend, so we're going to have to keep a close eye as we head into the evening hours tonight. We're going to be seeing around teens out there with maybe a couple snow showers, but this weekend we'll be seeing that snowstorm. And for the day on Thursday in the Northeast Kingdom, teens and 20s with those light snow showers in the morning, transitioning to mostly sunny skies in the afternoon with some nice sunny conditions but cold air, and then that cold will be lasting into the day on Friday with a snowstorm this weekend. We'll have to keep a close eye on it for amounts, and then next week we're seeing warm temperatures return and looks like great conditions for maple sugaring season next week, just like this week, but colder temperatures will inhibit that over the next few days before they'll be able to get the sugaring going once again.
Awesome. So what exactly is it that makes it okay for the maple sugaring to start now?
So what they need is temperatures, high temperatures to be above freezing during the day and low temperatures at night to be below freezing. That gets the maple sugar really flowing nicely, but when it's too cold, temperatures below freezing, that's when it'll inhibit those sugaring events for them.
All right, thanks, AJ.
Thank you.
A new tourism app for Vermont has hit the market. View Boost Discover Vermont was created by a father-son team by the name of Roger and Doug Albee. The Albees say you can use the app on the go, and it allows you to find and explore places and exciting events across the state. The app is free and available on the App Store. And as winter sports come to a close, that just means one thing: springtime sports are starting up.
That's right, Kevin. East Burke has a race coming up for everyone who wants to go out and enjoy their weather on their bikes. News 7 Sports coming up next.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad is cute.
You were looking right at us. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
And we're out. You got plans?
You bet. $50 million Americans struggle with hunger, but we can do something about it.
Excuse me.
What's going on?
Dinner. Please join me in helping put food on their tables. Together, we can feed America.
You guys keep going. I'm gonna get the plate.
Wait!
Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/hunger.
A challenging bike race is happening for the second time in East Burke this spring.
The race is also a fundraiser as well as a tough competition for serious bikers locally and as well from around the world. The Raspitista race starts and ends in East Burke. The race starts on April 11th and there is a limit of 500 riders. That's a 45-mile gravel road race that eventually merges onto Class 4 and 5 roads where bikers will have to carry their bikes instead of ride them. This section is called Siberia. Anyone can race and you can use any type of bike you would like, even though some bikes may have an advantage over others on this type of terrain.
Let me first start by saying Raspitista, it was developed based off the mud season of Vermont. The word itself is Russian, which means quagmire season, and there is a lot of Russian history in our area, so that's where we developed it. So it's, in a word, it is the muddiest race.
As of right now, there's a $50 registration fee, and there's 70 remaining spaces to join the race.
And now AJ Waterman joins us for a look at our final weather. AJ, what do you got?
Yeah, let's take one last look at that extended forecast. And you can see cold the next couple of days, snowy this weekend. Another snowstorm approaches us, then a bit of a warm-up into Monday, and then yet again some more snow on St. Patrick's Day next week. So an active pattern in and out of cold and warm temperatures and lots of snow in the forecast.
All right, thanks, AJ. That's all we have for this edition of News 7 at 5:30. I'm Kevin Kelleher.
And I'm Kelly O'Brien. Be sure to check us out anytime at news7newslink.net.
I'm AJ Waterman. From all of us here at the Vermont Center for Community Journalism, have a great evening.